Right, is that recording? Right.
Yeah, not done a video in ages. My name's Matt Higgins. I'm going to document Amsterdam Marathon training, which starts today. It's Monday, the 2nd of June, starting a 20-week programme on runner for Amsterdam Marathon, 19th of October. I've done marathons before, but this one's going to be a little bit different. So yeah, this is my first training plan post having Hodgkin Lymphoma. So across October to December last year I had chemotherapy, 6 rounds, and then in January this year, between the 2nd of Jan and the 15th, I had 10 consecutive days of radiotherapy. So yeah, my body's changed a little bit. It's going to be a different marathon programme altogether. I've got to be realistic about what time I want or what time I'll actually get, because I don't have the lungs that I used to have. I've gained weight from all the steroids. We'll see. So yeah, run number 1 today. Runners like settling me in nice and easy with an 8-mile progressive run, but today it's just going to be 8 miles. Let's see how we get on.
I'm going to document my Amsterdam training, which starts today. Like I said, I just hope that anybody who sees it or is going through or had or knows anybody that's had chemotherapy for any treatment or radiotherapy can see it and don't know, because I would love to have watched somebody going through it who was sport or running focused, to see that post-treatment you can still run and you can still train for things, and it's not the be all and end all. Your body's going to be different and your times are going to be different, and you might not ever operate on the same level of fitness again, but got to be thankful that I can still do these sorts of things. So yeah, I'm just gonna keep recording, keep waffling on, because it might help somebody else, and I'm sure it'll help me to keep talking about it, because I was looking at my phone and timeline of events from this year to last year, and round about this time I'd already ran Manchester Marathon, essentially with cancer, and then it wasn't until the 21st of August that I got my biopsy results. So I was literally in the process now of, I'd been to my GP down the road for what I thought was a hernia in that lump in my left groin, which me and my other half referred to as the chicken nugget, because it was quite a chunk sticking out, and that obviously eventually led to the fact that I had a swollen lymph node, and it was confirmed as Hodgkin's lymphoma. But everything changed not long after that. So from between August to September, October time, everything had been confirmed in terms of treatment plan, exactly what chemotherapy I would have, which was ABVD, 4 individual drugs for every 1 chemotherapy session. The planned number of chemo sessions was 8 rounds of chemo, fortnightly on a Friday. But what I eventually needed was 6 in the end. Between the 4th and 5th chemo session, it was decided and concluded that the lymph node no longer contained cancerous cells or Hodgkin's lymphoma. Then into the new year, that was the case of having radiotherapy as a preventative measure to like just zap the area from 4 different angles right into the lymph node. And lymph nodes, because it was a lump on my left groin, but I also had Hodgkin's lymphoma in 2 other lymph nodes on my right leg, the groin area. That was a result of having a PET scan, which is putting radioactive dye into the body, staying still for an hour, which was probably the most calm and relaxing process of all of the tests and scans, was to just not do anything for an hour, to let the dye go to the area where cancer was, finding things out like, because it's below the lungs and in a certain area of your body, your chemotherapy plan, the frequency and everything changes to if it were to be in the lungs or north of the lungs. The fact that it was in my sort of waist area meant that chemotherapy and radiotherapy were of a particular, like a different plan altogether compared to, say, if it was lymph nodes in my neck or armpits. Yeah, I hope anybody who's watching this is like kind of doesn't mind the fact that like it's not easy, and then there's also so many other things that just come along where you just think, wow, do we really need to do this? Is this... Yeah, it was, looking back, it was just, I know exactly what happened, I can tell you what happened in each appointment, the conversation and everything, but when it actually lands and you realise like, oh, that like happened and things like that, it's hard to process and read a message that says, yeah, you've got Hodgkin's lymphoma, and then you say on the phone like, right, what is Hodgkin's lymphoma? And then you just hear this voice just say, well, with this particular cancer, and then everything just kind of blurred out, and that's just all I heard. I just heard that word. I was at work, I was in the back of a lorry unloading food, which is what I do for a job, and then I just picked up the phone, and she said, is now a good time to talk? And I was like, I said, I don't want an email, I don't want a letter, I don't want to have to wait for anything, I just want a phone call. Just tell me as when that information lands in your inbox or on your desk, just ring me, just tell me straight away. So when she said that word, with this particular cancer, it was like, whoa. And then I asked if to send me a message or an email with the exact wording, however complicated or simple it was, because I needed to pass that information on to my mum and dad, my girlfriend, friends. I needed to read it to try and process it, and that's what happened. That was the 21st of August when I got my biopsy results. It was 2 weeks, but it ended up being 15 days that I had to wait, which was a long 15 days. And then soon after that, yeah, it was right, we need to confirm your treatment plan, how we're going to go about it. And yeah, that's when shit got real. Yeah, you're going to need chemo, you're going to need radio, you're going to be going through the mill and being off work for 6 months. That was another difficult thing to accept and anticipate was not only going through all that treatment, but to be off work for 6 months. Like, to not work, which is my job's very physical, and strangely enough at that time, and all the way through the process of having that first chemo, I didn't feel ill, I didn't look ill, I didn't lose energy, or my energy levels didn't drop, my appetite didn't change. There was nothing to suggest that I had cancer, and I had to be off work for 6 months and become very, very unwell to get rid of this stuff in my lymph nodes. It was just mad. And by making these videos and talking to this little white mic here, talking to this little white camera, and I'm so glad that I booked Amsterdam Marathon, because it was something to have in the diary, train towards, however fit or whatever state my body was in. It feels good to still be able to run. So yeah, I'm going to keep chatting, keep talking into this camera. I'll make some videos, I'll put them up on YouTube. I'm not sure what to call it yet. Maybe it's a chemathon. Thought about this a few times. Yeah, I might call it It's a Chemathon, because it just makes sense, really. So yeah, I'm gonna go for it. Keep walking a little bit. I've got an idea of like where I want to do these 8 miles. Not precious about numbers or pace. I haven't run 8k, let alone 8 miles for a while, so yeah, very shortly I'm gonna get running. And then I probably won't do any filming whilst running, because I'll just be gasping. I won't be able to speak. So yeah, right. A few more steps and we'll get underway. 8 miles in the bank. Feels good, but Jesus Christ, yeah, it's confirmed. Lungs are just like 2 crisp packets at the moment. The way it worked out was 2 miles, 2 mile warm up, not at any specific pace. Ran toward a loop that's perfect for mile repeat, so 2 mile warm up, and then by the time I'd walked across the road to the loop and on that first straight, it was 3.5 minutes. So I thought, right, I'll do 4 loops, continuous loops, just put a little bit of effort down on a straight or 2. It's just a series of 4 right turns. It's brilliant if anyone lives nearby or needs that mile loop. It's a great loop just to run either all out or just put some efforts down. So yeah, 4 loops, another 3.5 minute walk, just to let the lungs and the heart just come down a little bit, and then 2 miles back, just at feel, not at any pace at all, especially for this run number 1. So I'm just sat in the shade now. 8 miles in the bank, putting hay in the barn on week 1, run 1 of 20 weeks for Amsterdam Marathon. Yeah, and I've got high rocks tonight, so there's another few K efforts to put down. So now it's just recover, rest, chill. I treat this video as like pilot or episode 1 of like the Amsterdam block. So yeah, it's a chemathon, that's it. I was just thinking then on my run what to call it, so I changed my Instagram from Run Higo Run to It's a Chemathon, because that's what it's going to be. So yeah, right, I'm going to catch my breath, let my lungs come back down to earth, and relax and recover now until tonight. High Rocks at 6 o'clock, and that'll be a good double for day one.